then it says we're supposed to add 1 tablespoon of lemon shaving.
Oh, you don't want to add that. I've made a cheesecake before that tasted like lemon pie, and it just ruined it. We can skip that ingredient. It'll be fine.
But the recipe says we're supposed to add it, so let's add it.
Okay, well, we don't have to follow the recipe. I followed a recipe like that before, and it was not satisfactory.
Come now, it's not that big of an issue. Don't be so stubborn, Achilles. The recipes are like the laws of cooking. And if laws are just, then we should follow them. They are made to create an ordered dish, and they do not harm anyone. So I believe that they are just.
Except it's my kitchen, so I'm the law around here. We will make the cheesecake the way I want to.
Just because it's your kitchen doesn't mean that you don't have to follow the laws either.
I demand the respect I am entitled to. If I want to bend the law slightly, then we will.
No, we cannot. Even if it is something small or more convenient, we can't adjust the laws to do our bidding. Laws were meant to keep order, and only to be broken when it is the just course of action.
Well, how is adding lemon zest a matter of justice?
Obviously, the recipe was made this way for a reason. The experts who designed this dessert carefully created these instructions. We must trust in their judgment as authority figures and respond with obedience.
But when an authority performs injustice, such as making my cheesecake taste like lemon, then it is fair to ignore the rules and disobey.
Well, you can't fault the recipe for making a bad cheesecake just because you don't like lemon. It is only right to break the laws, or rather, change the recipe. If the authority that made the laws did not follow logical steps when creating them, or made the laws unjust. Not just if the laws are not to your liking. In this case, the recipe has no reason to be considered unjust or illogical.
If you are supposed to obey the authority figure, then do I not deserve obedience? This is my house, I am the leader, so I am higher power than the recipe. Therefore, I deserve respect.
You can't actually believe that. If you continue to be this stubborn, then I will just leave like I did in the Trojan War.
Yes, the laws would put you in charge of your house, but that doesn't entitle you to be in charge of this recipe. Achilles and I could just go elsewhere.
If I were not Caesar, I would care about where you go, my dear friends. But since I am Caesar, I do not care.
But wait, if the experts made the recipe broke their laws themselves, should they no longer be viewed as authority figures? If they broke the law for their own benefit, then they are not honorable, and we should reciprocate by not following their laws.
2 wrongs don't make a right. You should always obey the higher authority because the highest authority is the law. How can you know more about cooking than the professional that crafted this recipe?
Okay, Socrates, why don't you tell us your definition of authority, because I see it differently.
Well, an authority is someone who has been granted higher power and attempts to maintain order and the social contract, if you will, between the people and the authority.
But that's only in a utopian world. That doesn't apply to today. Authority is the guy with the bigger stick. Somebody always gets hit, and then the stick holder gets more power. Authority figures have the authority to do whatever they want, so I should be given some power. That sounds fair to me.
Authority is the power given to strong individuals who are capable of leading the masses. I am a military man, and I know that system works.
I respectfully disagree with part of that statement. People hold authority because they are granted it, but authority is something more than that. It is more complex. Leaders wield authority, but authority is not given to leaders, or at least it shouldn't be. It is a power that should only be granted to those who use it justly. a power that should only be given to the truly deserving. Authority is the logical mechanism used to maintain balance and order in a society. Furthermore, authority should only be granted to the most logical choice, not just anyone who can call themselves a leader or a military man.
The person that wields authority must also be an honorable man, because men who abuse power become corrupt over time, and everyone knows that corruption leads only to more corruption. Before you know it, all men will be corrupt.
I must not find fault with Socrates and Achilles' arguments, for if I were to argue with them, my position of power and reputation would be compromised. I cannot allow them to pose as threats to my success. Therefore, I have no choice but to agree with them. I see where you two are coming from. As long as both the recipe maker and Achilles have made this recipe before, I'm willing to take both of their opinions into consideration, so now I will leave the choice to you.
I really do believe that because the recipe is so logical, the recipe creator and authority on this matter had to have been honorable as well.
Alright, I'm convinced. You may add lemon zest if you want to.
Thank you, Achilles. I am glad the recipe will stay true to the honorable, logical, and just recipe created by a real authority. I'm sure it'll be delicious.